in, Miss Rachel.
Did my mother ask you to make this trip?
I like to travel.
I asked you a simple question.
You'll have to excuse me for the moment, Miss Rachel. I'm busy as a cat in a hot griddle.
Welcome aboard, Rachel.
Thank you, Mrs. Stark.
Come along with me. I'll show you where we'll bunk. Aren't you lucky that nice Mr. Jackson happened to be going to Natchez, too?
An amazing coincidence.
I said the very same thing. We'll live in here, child. It's cramped, but it'll give us good privacy. I said to Cherry Pie when he built it, "'Tain't big enough. You can't cuss a cat in it without getting fur in your mouth." Now, you rest up a bit.
Andrew, do you have a free hand for a cup of coffee?
I'll sure find one. Thank you, Rachel. You better get back under cover before you catch your death.
I want to apologize. I was rude and ungrateful about your being along.
Don't ever apologize for anything, Rachel. Not you, and never to me. Now go on. Get back in there before you get soaked. I'm supposed to be looking after you.
Kind of indecent hanging out such private garments before a bachelor, but we've got no choice.
Oh, I think they know more about us than we give them credit for knowing.
Colonel Stark bought me these in New Orleans. I just love them. So does he.
Well, neither one of us has any secrets from the men folks now.
Andy looks kind of moony over there by himself. Go talk to him for a spell, Rachel.
Colonel Stark says we'll be passing into Spanish territory pretty soon.
Oh, I figure a couple more days.
Will you be staying in Natchez a while?
Just long enough to find a party going back up the trace to Nashville. I'm still Attorney General back home. Indians! Get down behind the cargo! Colonel Stark! Stay under cover till the current carries us out of danger. The only thing we can do...
Shouldn't we fire back?
Just a waste of ammunition. Get rid of that top bale. Throw it overboard. We'll be out of range in a minute. Well, it's your boat, Colonel, but I still think we're making a mistake tying into shore for the night.
Andrew, I've got no choice. I know this river. There are rapids just ahead, and I can't risk running them in the dark.
You know the river, but I know Indians. They'll smell us out before morning.
I'll throw you a stern line.
I don't like the look of a Cherry Pie.
I don't either, but it can't be helped. Andrew and I'll stand guard.
I'll spend the night on shore, Colonel.
Better stay aboard, Andrew. We'll need you in case we're attacked in the darkness.
Well, we've got to have some advance warning. Only way to get it is if one of us spends the night ashore.
I guess you're right.
Zeb, you hear this now. At the first sound of a shot, you take this axe and cut that stern rope. Let the current carry into midstream.
Yes, sir.
But how will you get back if he cuts the rope?
You just stay under cover.
Come along, child. We might as well try to sleep. There's nothing we can do.
I think I'll watch for a spell.
Well, if I'm going to get scalped, I'd just as soon be asleep.
I'll look out from the top of the cabin. You get to the stern.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what anybody said. I'll cut it myself as soon as he's safe aboard. Now you go watch from that end. Colonel, you shout as soon as you see Andrew.
At him, son. Rachel wouldn't let us.
Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. Why didn't you cut the rope like I told you to?
You didn't tell me, and I never agreed anyway.
Don't you know you could all have been massacred?
Don't you shout at me. I still got my scalp if you got yours. And besides, what kind of a protector goes gallivanting over the woods chasing Indians? What were you trying to do, make a dead hero out of yourself?
Why did you do it?
I was showing off. I like to breathe danger. Let go of my hands.
We're planning a party for you next Tuesday, my dear. We've invited practically everybody in this territory.
But Aunt Sarah, I can't possibly make myself a dress by then.
I'm sure that one of your cousin's dresses will fit you perfectly, Rachel.
And we look about the same size, Mr. Jackson. Would you mind?
I sure wouldn't.
I can't think of anything I'd rather do than stand at the head of a beautiful staircase in a lovely gown and just float down.
Shows you what a fool I could be. I didn't think it possible that you could be more beautiful.
I'm so laced up I can hardly breathe. My heart is pounding in my ears.
Well, by a strange coincidence, my heart's pounding in my ears, too, and I'm not laced up. I get through that a sight better than I thought I could.
Darling, I've been asking in Natchez. You can get an annulment here in Spanish territory. We can be married right away.
Then we could go home together.
No, we couldn't go home.
Why not?
Well, we wouldn't be legally married any place but here.
We could never go back?
Darling, this is a beautiful territory. What would be the matter with spending the rest of our lives here?
Andrew, I don't want you to have to give up anything for me.
What would I be giving up that means anything to me? I couldn't be happy any place in the world without you. We could build a good life for ourselves here.
Marrying here would only be a way of getting around the law. Our love is right and good. Our marriage must be right and good, too, from the first instant. I don't want it to imprison you or cost you anything.
Rachel, it has to be here and not at all.
Maybe if you went back and talked to Mother Robard, she'd get Louis to petition for divorce.
It never set you free.
But we must try. Go back and talk to Mother Robards, Andrew. I know she'll do anything she can to help me. And then if there's no other way, I'll marry you here.
I'll do anything you ask me to. Why do we waste months, maybe years that we could have together now?
We just decided to wait.
You decided.
And you agreed.
I said I'd go back. I didn't say I wanted to or even that I thought it was best. Rachel, I'm not a fickle man. I've never loved before and I'll never love again. But things can happen. Let's be together now while we can.
Andrew, I still have a husband. I can't...
All right. Maybe I'll be back in 2 months, or maybe 2 years, or maybe not at all. But if that risk will make you happy, I'll try and make you happy.
Maybe you prefer not to come back at all.
Andrew, a mail rider just arrived from Nashville. There's a letter for you.
Thank you, Colonel. Rachel! Darling, we can be married. We can be married here right away. Louis got a divorce.
Who sent the letter?
Johnny wrote the minute he heard. Louis went to the legislature himself, and they granted his petition.
Oh, I knew it was going to turn our way. Let me read the letter.
I'll tell you about it.
Andrew, there's something wrong about the divorce.
It's not the way we wanted it, darling. But the fact is, you're free.
Well, how did he get the divorce?
Rachel.
What were the grounds?
The thing that's important here is that we can be married.
Andrew, what were the grounds?
He accuses you of adultery.
With whom?
He names me.